Howdy, 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 and welcome to WWW. What a week in wrestling. News, reviews, a look forward to pay-per-views, a new segment of Wednesday Working, and Collector's Corner, this week featuring a very limited edition figure. Okay, so first of all, we've had a few weeks off, lots of family engagements. This will now be broadcast on a Friday. So unfortunately, SmackDown will not be part of WWW anymore. But as we've seen on SmackDown recently, it's probably not that much to miss, to be honest. Let's kick off straight off with the news. So AEW, again, comprehensively defeated NXT. It's the first time that they've gone head-to-head in a while, with lots of American sports interfering with it at the moment. But yeah, it was like 850,000 to 600 and odd thousand, so it doesn't look like there's any competition anymore. I could see NXT moving to Tuesday nights very, very soon. Retribution, much more of a hint on Raw this week about who they are. I definitely recognised at least 4 of the 5 people that were stood there. Doesn't mean WWE won't swerve and change, but there was definitely Dominic Dijakovic, Mercedes Martinez, Mia Yim, and Shane Thorne in that one. There's been a lot of talk about The Miz maybe being part of that as well. I couldn't quite make out the 5th member. Maybe you can help me in the comments with that one. NXT tease some kind of major announcements this week. NXT are usually good for that. When they say they've got a major announcement, it's usually a major announcement. This week, not so much. The major announcements was that there would be a number 1 contenders women's battle royal and a number 1 contender men's elimination gauntlet match, which is basically Elimination Chamber without the fun aspect. So somebody comes in every 4 minutes, I think it is, out of 5 or 6 contenders. Kushida, the first one that's going to be in that. A major WWE ally at the USA Network has gone. Chris McCumber, the president of Sci-Fi and the USA, always had big allegiances with WWE. He is no longer in his post, so their workings with the USA Network might be in jeopardy there. Okay, let's kick off straight into the results. Raw was quite match-heavy again. They're getting quite a lot of action into Raw, with there being no crowd, no entrances, no large entrances, and things like that at the moment. I quite like it, but sometimes it just sacrifices actual good matches for just quick matches. So Street Profits defeated Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in build-up to their match at Clash of Champions, or their proposed match at Clash of Champions. It makes sense because not every title can be kind of on the line, so having a champ versus champ match is good. Cedric Alexander defeated Ricochet. If you haven't seen that match, definite moment of the week was how Ricochet took the Lombard check. He honestly jumped about 6 foot in the air from the Lombard check, which is a very impressive feat to do. Asuka defeated Mickie James, somewhat of a botched finish in this one. The referee thought that Mickie James' shoulder had popped. We don't know whether it has or not, so he called the match. So both competitors looked a little bit like they weren't sure of what would be happening. Probably good for Mickie James, because she'll probably get another shot, I would say, in the future. Lashley defeated Eric. Probably the last we'll see for Eric in a while, because Ivar has just undergone surgery, so good luck to Ivar and his recovery. As usual with tag teams, WWE will probably just shove Eric to the side and pretend he doesn't exist for a while. Seth Rollins defeated Dominic Mysterio in a cage match. I'm guessing, well, I would be guessing it would be the end of that feud, but they did tease a little bit of storyline continuance with Rey Mysterio's daughter, Aaliyah, and Murphy in that one, so there could be things that continue. Kevin Owens defeated Alistair Black. The lights started flickering, which distracted Black, and then Owens got the victory. Alistair Black come out on Twitter later and said that he believes Owens is part of Retribution, so quite a nice segue of how to continue the Retribution angle and how to continue their feud. I quite liked that. Riot Squad prepared for their match at Clash of Champions by defeating Lana and Natalya. If there ever was no point in people being in WWE at the moment, it is Lana and Natalya. But I like the Riot Squad. I'm looking forward to their match at Clash of Champions. And the main event saw Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee in one of the most predictable draws that there's ever been. Because of Retribution coming out. WWE indicated they don't know if Randy Orton will make Clash of Champions, so they need to keep Keith Lee looking strong and in the picture somehow. Job done. So Raw was alright. quite enjoyed Raw, to be honest. NXT, Wade Barrett has signed a contract to be a permanent commentator. I don't know if you guys noticed it this week, but there was a lot less input from Barrett. I don't know if he's been told to kind of quieten down and let the play-by-play guy lead it, or I don't know. Or maybe it's because Beth Phoenix had a bit more of a showing this week. So, let's kick off with the results. Io Shirai defeated Shotzi Blackheart to retain her NXT Women's title. Io Shirai really needs to drop the moonsault. It was another terrible moonsault. I think I've seen more bad ones than good ones from her, so she needs a new finisher. Shotzi Blackheart is clearly being primed for something special in WWE. She's very good. We'll see where she goes. Tommaso Ciampa defeated the renamed Desmond Troy, formerly Denzel Dejanay. Definitely a better name. Well done, NXT. And there was a kind of build-up between himself and Jake Atlas for next week, I think, maybe in 2 weeks, of which Kyle O'Reilly got involved, of the Undisputed era. I'm not sure where that's leading. That's intrigued me quite a lot. Kushida defeated Austin Theory. Austin Theory came out and had a bit of mic work and did an open challenge. Open challenge for somebody who's not winning is a bit weird, but I suppose it gave him a little bit of mic time. Kushida obviously being given a little bit of a push at the moment. Breezango defending their tag titles against Imperium. Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, they've been teasing them getting a bit of a win, and they've finally done it over Jessie Kamea and Xia Li. Xia Li refusing the fist bump afterwards and indicating a heel turn for herself. Drake Maverick and Killian Dane continued their kind of big man, small man, are they friends, are they not? And they defeated Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish by disqualification. Again, Drake Maverick got a bit of a hit at the end from Killian Dane. I quite like it where it's going, to be honest. Maybe kind of reminds me, not in the fighting aspect, but kind of reminds me of the Kane X-Pac tag team. And in the main event, Damian Priest defeated Timothy Thatcher in a good, solid match. NXT UK, woohoo, the return. First of all, Nigel McGuinness, it's so good to hear his commentary back on WWE. NXT have very much missed that. So it kicked off with Gallus, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. No sign of Joe Coffey on the sidelines at the moment. They defeated Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams in a really solid match. Aoife Valkyrie defeated Isla Dawn. The camera angles were weird on this one. They kept going really, really up close to the women, which I found quite strange. So the flow was kind of interrupted by it. And in the main event, Ilya Dragunov defeated Noam Dar with a little bit of interference by Alexander Wolf, probably leading on to the Heritage Cup, which is a kind of British-style cup that's going to be happening. 7 names been released so far. There's Noam Dar, Alexander Wolf, Joseph Connors, Trent Seven, Flash Morgan Webster, A-Kid, and a mystery person who's going to be in it. I assumed it was going to be Pete Dunne, but they've said that he's going to be talking about it next week, like on an interview panel type thing, so maybe it's not Pete Dunne. That should be good, and apparently it's going to be classed as a major title in WWE NXT UK, and it will be defended once there is a winner. Dynamite, FTR defended their tag team titles against the Jurassic Express. Hangman Adam Page defeated Frankie Kazarian. MJF got a win in about 1.6 seconds against Sean Dean. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, forming a little tag team at the moment, defeated Private Party. I would prefer to see Santana and Ortiz in that kind of position, because Jericho and Hager are obviously going to get a title shot in the future. Not sure they deserve it. Thunder Rosa defeated Ivelisse. After weeks and weeks of AEW producing terrible women's matches, they've found a star in Thunder Rosa. She just looks like a solid worker, and again it was a decent match. A little bit of a tease between her and Hikaru Shida becoming friends against Diamante and Ivelisse. Look out for that match in the future. And the main event was a street fight, parking lot brawl type thing between Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz. Great match. Lots and lots of exciting stuff in it, and it was a great end to their feud. I still feel sorry for Santana and Ortiz. They shouldn't be in the position that they are in AEW, and they need to sort it out. Okay, look forward to Clash of Champions. 4 matches formally announced so far. We've got the WWE title, which will be McIntyre against Orton in an ambulance match. They've just released like an ambulance toy playset. I really hope that's they've not made an ambulance match because of that. Universal title, Roman Reigns against Jey Uso. I think WWE feels that there's more excitement with the fans than there probably actually is on this one. But to be fair to Jey Uso, he's put up with a lot from Jimmy's transgressions, let's say. So nice to see him have a little bit of the spotlight, but an obvious winner of that one. Bayley will defend against Nikki Cross, as Nikki Cross won the 975th million number one contenders match. Look forward to Sasha Banks getting involved in that somehow. Can't see Bayley losing her title though. And Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will defend against the Riot Squad for their tag team titles. AEW's next pay-per-view, I believe, is Full Gear, but there's been no matches so far. So, Star of the Week, Kushida got a win on NXT, and he's also been placed in the Elimination Gauntlet match for next week, building up to the October 4th takeover. Stars of the Year remain the same: Drew McIntyre for WWE and Cody for AEW. They're being pushed at the moment by Asuka of WWE and by Kenny Omega of AEW. So, a little bit of a new segment coming up now, which is Wednesday Workins. I'm not going to be physically showing you anything, but there'll be pictures on the screen. So, I've started up my customization process again. So, this week, I bought a couple of Acolytes figures, custom figures already done, but they didn't have the decals on them, so I've put the decals on their chests, make them look a lot better. And the one that I'm personally working on at the moment is the 1985 WrestleMania 1 Executioner from his match against Tito Santana. Under the mask was Playboy Buddy Rose in a different role as the Executioner, as the undefeated Executioner, but we'd never seen him before, so that would be why. The match was alright, but it's just a bit of a memory of WrestleMania for me. Okay, Collector's Corner. We've got a couple of decent figures, and we've got this, which is the Nexus t-shirt. There you go. You're at the Nexus, or you're against us. I've wanted to pick this t-shirt up for ages, and I managed to get it off eBay for $5 the other day. So fantastic. So here's the two figures. First one is the Deadman's Revenge, which is the Undertaker as Kane. Lovely little figure here. I can see this one rocketing in value. You've got the two Kane heads, the Undertaker head, and the really good body, which is much more a reflection on the size than I find the Kane ones. I find the Kane ones a bit thin and a bit small. Obviously, it's not Kane, it's Undertaker, but you get what I mean. And the other one is one that I finally decided to pick up. I was on the fence. I ummed and ahed. I don't think it's the best that Mattel could have done, but here it is. There we go. It is the Mr. T set. Let's crack it open. I think a lot of fans were a bit bemused that Mr. T didn't come in his red gear, which, yeah, same for me. I think he might have worn this kind of one on Saturday night's main event or on the lead up to Mania somehow. Let's take this cover off because it's a little bit stopping you from seeing the figure. And there he is, Mr. T. I've heard reports that they're putting a couple of the same hands in these boxes. I've not actually checked mine yet. But yeah, blue attire. They're definitely going to release a red attire at some point. There is another Mr. T in the workings, but I can't quite place it in my head at the moment. But yeah, looking forward to the proper WrestleMania 1 red attire, which, if this sold well, which I believe it did, I expect that coming shortly. Right! It's been a long time away for WWW. What a week in wrestling. I'm glad I'm back. I hope you're glad I'm back. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for watching. See you later.